Hello guys, welcome to my channel, and this is another opportunity for us to discuss within the next 15-20 minutes a very important topic around central bank digital currency. Of course, we know that we use this channel for GameFi, DeFi, NFTs, talking about scams within the financial space, social fi, but today we'll be talking about central bank digital currencies. Some of our users asked us to uncover some of the hidden things behind the eNaira. And yesterday, the 25th of October, the president and the governor of the central bank of Nigeria um, had launched their own central bank digital currency called the eNaira. Our users asked us to uncover it, and we'll be uncovering it within the next 15 to 20 minutes. All right. That being said, we will just go straight to it. There are some hidden things we saw, and we felt we should talk about it. While I will first of all use the opportunity to commend the Central Bank of Nigeria for taking the time to and having that first mover advantage, being bold enough and courageous enough to take that step. I can tell you congratulations to them, and it's a step in the right direction. I'm a fan of blockchain technology. I'm a fan of the applications of decentralized technologies like blockchain, whether it's permission or permissionless. I like the fact that Africa is taking the step in the right direction even for the rest of the world. We can lead, others can follow. And of course, we can also do it right. But why this happens, so many of our users within the Nigerian space has said, hey, Lucky, can you and your team look at this eNaira, tell us what's your opinion about it? And that's exactly what we will do in the first place. So first, as you can see right now on my screen, we observe something that the Central Bank of Nigeria, throughout the time they're trying to launch the eNaira, that's what it's officially called, had refused to reference or call the eNaira cryptocurrency. As strange as it might sound, I don't know why they rather prefer to call it digital currency over cryptocurrency. But I'm here to say that the eNaira is also cryptocurrency, and I will tell you why. If you look at a very simple Google, what is digital currency? You can see that it says digital currency is a form of cryptocurrency that exists only in digital electronic form and that can operate independently of central bank. Again, cryptocurrency can simply be the application, all right, of cryptography to currency. When you use cryptography digitally to mint and issue digital currency, it is cryptocurrency. And it's crypto because cryptography have been employed in situations of issuing your currencies on the blockchain. So a combination of cryptography and the underlying blockchain behind blockchain plus your currency automatically makes it crypto. And there is nothing wrong with calling eNaira cryptocurrency. However, when it's referenced as cryptocurrency, it can be said that eNaira is a cryptocurrency that is issued by the central bank or by the government, so that the people can know that cryptocurrencies can be issued both by private entities in the case of like the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and also they can be the type that are issued by the government in the case of central bank digital currencies. So there is nothing wrong with that. You can only make the discrepancies coming from the angle of who issued it in terms of the entity, if they are government or if they are non-government. And if that is said, eNaira is also cryptocurrency. All right. That's the first things we decide to uncover in terms of hidden interpretations of eNaira. The second thing, as you can see directly on my screen, is um, who's the greatest benefactor? Our users also ask us the same questions. We've seen that the greatest benefactor for the eNaira or central bank digital currency is the government. The government will easily be able to tax the citizens directly without needing to wait for an intermediary like FIRS. It's strange that if time is not taken, the duties of FIRS will also shrink alongside. But That being said, it's possible that the government, through the central bank digital currencies, in this case the eNaira, the central bank can just automatically take away the tax straight up. This one benefit. The second benefit is to the consumer, which is the citizens, myself, yourself, and any other Nigerian who's utilizing or citizens utilizing the eNaira, because the cost of transactions can relatively go down. The speed and efficiency can become smoother. By the way, the Nigerian Central Bank has one of the best banking system in the world. This is not a case of me trying to praise them. This is a case of me telling you a statement of fact. I've tried different kind of banking systems around the world, from North America to Europe and Asia to Africa. Nigeria have one of the best for the speed and the limitations we encounter in other parts of the world. We don't encounter them here in Nigeria. And so, therefore, part of the reasons why I've said they are the best. But coming back to eNaira, I'm saying that one of the benefits to the consumer is that it also improve efficiency in terms of you as a user. Have you ever been in a situation where you want to send or transact with your banking app, and all of a sudden your banking app is not working? Not because the entire banking system is down, but because maybe there's an upgrade or there's something they're doing on your own banking app. Other bank might be working and your own bank might not be working at that time. So, but in the case of the eNaira, blockchain is secured enough in terms of only you only need one node for the entire network to still be active. So if so long as there's one node still running, it doesn't matter. It will be active. Though we do not know the TPS, which is the transactions per second for the eNaira type of wallet, but hopefully that information will be made to us public, or maybe it can as well accommodate as much as the current transaction size being done on a day-to-day basis for the Nigerian economy. Therefore, that's a benefit. Another benefit to it is that the government can easily target its citizens in terms of social impact or any social intervention kind of fund. We had a case of where at one point in time Nigeria said they distributed some amount of money recovered from the Abacha loot, but people were very, very concerned as to the transparency of how that money was distributed. But in the case of the eNaira, everybody can easily be able to check. Of course, if they make that public and make that available for us to verify independently on the blockchain, that is if they choose to make it open for verification process, since it's actually permission. So you do not necessarily have access to the blockchain itself. But it's possible that this can transparently be audited by anybody who knows how to audit transactions on the blockchain. Now that's is another benefit. Another fourth benefit will be the government will save costs and the cost of minting, transportation, securing, you know, manufacturing, if that's a word for that. Actually, it's right. Printing is the right word, not manufacturing. Printing currencies like the paper currency. That is, as we continue to progress into this phase, if this phase will be sustained by the central bank, especially for the eNaira. The government will save a lot of money from that. So I expect that um, billions of naira will be saved annually on printing and minting. So that, of course, is the benefit. So the government again is one of the greatest benefactor in this. And finally, if there's another benefactor in this, is that it's now possible and easy for the government to audit anybody in terms of monitoring financial transactions directly from the coffers of the central bank, including financing any illegal activities, terrorism, and all that. So that's a benefit for the government, and that's why I said when I started, I said kudos to the government of Nigeria. Now, who's the least benefactor in this, or at a disadvantage? Honestly, if you ask me, the least benefactor in this process is the bank, and I will tell you why. Don't be quick to. I know some of you will be like, it's not possible. The financial institution, which is the bank, even though they're directly one of the people who will help the government through the central bank distribute these currencies to people as a result of people onboarding through their normal banking BVN app, and if they decide to link their bank card to it, right? Bank make their profit from continuous transaction when people transact day to day. Now imagine a situation whereby, let's say, more than half of the population of Nigeria now have speed wallet, and at least 60% of more than half of the population now decides to do their KYC up to tier 3 because they're actually 4 tiers, which I will explain later when I scroll down. If you look at my screen, all right. If you look at my screen, they're actually more than 4 tiers. So imagine a situation whereby um, they 50% of this population decide to do at least up to tier 3, meaning they would have up to an allowing number of limits of transaction per day, which covers up to as much as 2 million naira for persons. And Nigeria is a country where people live below $2 per day. It is fair to say that 50% of the population of Nigeria live off 100,000 naira, right? So imagine where at least 50% of the entire population now have that money in terms of eNaira. What will we be doing going back to the bank to onboard? And take note, for every time you transact between one speed wallet, which is the wallet that house the eNaira, between another speed wallet, the central bank take charge. What I mean by charge, the transaction fee. They take the transaction fee. How do you determine who has to get the transaction fee? It is to the central bank, not to the private banks. Now, the private bank only gets their own commission when people decide to say they need physical cash. That is, they are changing from eNaira back to cash, or they're changing from cash back to eNaira. But in a situation by, let's say, within the next 5 years, I don't expect most of our money to still be in physical form, so there might not be any need for them to really, really, really on board. But while if they choose to on board, because almost everybody's having a substantial amount of eNaira right now in their wallet, it means when you need somebody to pay you for something or you need to pay somebody, you most likely will receive direct eNaira. You don't even need to go to the bank again to convert from the physical Naira in your bank accounts to eNaira. You're just collecting eNaira from one person's wallet to your own wallet, so you don't need the bank. And therefore, Central Bank of Nigeria will be the greatest benefactor. And um, at that time, banks most likely would lose out on a great deal for day-to-day banking transaction. And even if the central bank decides to say they will distribute back those transaction fees they collect from the users to the person. So the question is, how would they do that? Because I might onboard the first time through, let's say, Access Bank, but I might be sending more of my money to somebody in Zenith and GT Bank. How do you take the transaction fee and distribute it between Access Bank, GT Bank? It becomes a challenge. So hence I say that they are the greatest benefactor, especially if this eNaira policy is sustained, if this eNaira distribution process is sustained, and people decide to also do their KYC at least up to level 3. I expect that so long as central bank continue to house or hold this speed wallet themselves, the financial institutions, in this case bank, will be the least benefactors in this entire process, unless in future central bank decide to give pull away from this part of service and give it the control to the bank. Then it's fair to say that that's when this can be reinterpreted. But based on what today is, the interpretation is clear. The banks are the least benefactors in this entire process. Another part that we decide to uncover in terms of the implication of what this eNaira also means is that who will likely lose revenue in long run? Honestly, the bank, like I said, will lose revenue in long run. Another sensitive part of people is the amount of people who will lose job will be very, 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 very big. And this is why I said so. There is a unit in the Central Bank of Nigeria known as the Minting and Printing Department. I expect that within the next 5 years, if this eNaira is sustained and continued, and the circulation is evenly done, I expect that at least more than 80% of the people who are currently depending in the minting and printing department, whether you are your duties to help to transport money when they mint it, whether you are providing transportation service to the bank in terms of bullion van, whether you're a security personnel who's meant to secure the bullion van or even secure the minting and printing process, or who's meant to like check so that people don't have to forge or carry or steal money when they mint it, or whether you are a worker who's meant to supervise the entire process of the machinery that do the printing itself, your job is gone. Honestly, why? By the click of a button, monies are printed now. And remember, on the launch yesterday, the central bank governor says just yesterday they've minted 500 million naira worth of eNaira, which is equivalent to 500 million naira. In 1 year time, how much do you think the central bank will be able to mint? It means they'll mint over tens of billions of naira. In 5 years' time, it's fair to say that the Central Bank of Nigeria should be at least being able to have nothing less than 1 trillion naira minted under the central bank eNaira digital currency. So technically, your job as a minting and printing person, as somebody who supplies them the polymer material for printing, your job is done. If you supply them energy in case of diesel to secure the minting and printing house, forget it. There will not be need for that again. Why? If the circle is sustained, though. I do not expect this to take full effect immediately. I expect them to take run through at least 5 years timeline. So if you're within this industry and you're servicing these people, forget it. Begin to plan for the next transformation. The next part is if you're working in a private bank, not just central bank, minting and printing department. If you're working in a private bank whose duty is also meant to collect back those money that have been printed from central bank in the past, and your duty is meant to also secure the money in the private bank. Your duty is meant to collect the money and keep them. Your duty is somebody who's meant to count the physical cash if you're a teller person or so. If your duty is also to supply them the machine that help them to count, there'll be nothing left for you to count because it's not digital, just by the click of a button. These are the people who most likely will lose their job. And now that you have the opportunity to hear it on my channel, this is free advice. While you didn't ask for it, this is free advice. The best thing you can do right now, if you're a banker whose duties or service to the banking industry, whether it's from central bank or the private bank, is in the case of this fiscal cash I just mentioned, begin to learn how you can become useful in the area of cryptography and cryptocurrency. So begin to learn courses around cryptocurrencies, begin to learn courses around auditing, cryptography, you know, forensic, and all those kind of stuff that has to do with being useful for the eNaira in its new form. Don't say you weren't told. Don't say they took you unaware. Don't come out tomorrow and begin to protest because your job is gone, because the government needs money. And if the government will save billions of naira as a result of closing tens of thousands of certain workers, they most likely will do it. Why? Because they need money too. And of course, they always go for what is best for them. Government first before the people, while even though we expect them to do the people first. So it's not a case of Nigeria, it's a case of um, the consequences of what technological change could bring to the society. When new technology comes, certain people lose their job, and you're one of them. So, in case you don't know, you are among the people who I say will likely lose revenue in the long run. Now, why did another part? Why did CBN launch eNaira digital currency in a manual way? It's as strange as it sounds. I just do not understand why the Central Bank of Nigeria would do what they've done. So um, let's quickly take a look as to the entire process of how that eNaira was launched on this very day. It was so strange for me, but here, so just have a look quickly. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look quickly. Just listen. Very manual. All right. Okay. Probably you can't hear the audio, but I think at this point, the president has just finished addressing the people around the eNaira itself, and to my surprise, the president was meant to come and commission the digital currency. As the video continues to play, you see the people standing up. If you're looking at my video right now, you should see it. I'm playing this directly from the video that was uploaded on Central Bank own website. You see somebody, I think this an orderly or something, who works for the president, decided to bring a manual board to commission the eNaira. By the way, I will pause the video here. Let me comment something on that logo. Okay, the logo was great. The logo was good. The logo was fine. And one of the best logos I've seen in recent time in terms of how simple and straightforward. The logo explaining the Naira, the green, white, and green, and all of that. But how on earth do you bring the president of the biggest economy to commission a digital project in Naira by bringing him a hard board? Central Bank, what is wrong with you? What stops you, the central bank, from making the president open his first own wallet? The central bank governor can, from their own wallet, which I will explain later, send the president, let's say 1,000 or 10,000 naira into the president's own wallet, and it becomes the first official transaction of eNaira between the government, in this case central bank, and the citizen, which is the president in that particular instance, so that the president can officially as well be able to witness what it really means for its citizen to really have that in the first place. That's how you commission a digital project. I will use this opportunity to call on the central bank governor to correct this. And you can correct this by sending the public another video where you can be in your office and send the president his own eNaira. And the video can record his phone or his device where he can automatically and instantly receive it like within a flash of a second. The second where you're sending yours and the second when he's receiving his. That's how you commission a digital project. I'm ashamed of this part. So something I'm really proud of. If you can see, even if you listen to the video, if you can, my audio is not a bit audible. I don't know if you can hear it. All right. If you listen to the video, if you can, you would even hear when the president was saying, "Is there anything I can do? Is that it?" He was even surprised because as much as people can choose to call the president as somebody who's a bit analog, all right. He even knows that he was expecting something digital. I guess maybe that's why he even asked, "Is that it, or what am I supposed to do?" It's almost like you caught the president on our way. Even I would have asked the same questions if I was in the president's shoes. All right, how do you launch a digital project um, by in such an analog way? It's like very very bad, and I think it still can be done. You need to do this before the Ghana Central Bank launch their own. It's not. Hey, this is not a case between Nigeria versus Ghana, but it's just me trying to say Nigeria is leading the way in terms of eNaira or CBDC, and we should do it right so that other African nations or other nations outside Africa don't copy this pattern of doing that. It's just ideal that we do it digitally. All right. So that's the case of some of the things, hidden interpretations around it. But let me just go a bit deeper in case you're joining my channel. Feel free to subscribe if this information is quite helpful. I've talked about people who could benefit, people who could lose, people who are the greatest benefactors, some of the hidden interpretations that they are refusing not to tell us. Now, let me just go straight a bit deeper and tell you in terms of the structures and the transactions, and I'll round off the conversation. So, in terms of the power, due in Section 19 of the CBN Act, all right, it gives them the power to bear the direct liabilities for anything that has to do with issuing of legal tender. So, central bank is saying they'll bear the liability on anything that happens to do eNaira. Though there's a controversy, which I might talk later if I have the time, where the central bank is saying they do not necessarily cover certain liabilities around if there are issues with the technologies or something. I think that was the way it was really put. I would have to do better research around that. That liabilities, I was wondering why wouldn't they cover it? If they could cover for physical hard cash, they should do the same if it's electronically way. But of course, though the statement says it's a direct liabilities of the bank, legal tender and will of course form part of the currencies in circulation. That's by this power, central bank could do what they're doing, and that's why you see they could issue that. Now, how is the eNaira structured? Quickly, there are four type of wallets within the structure. The four type of wallet is first the stock wallet, which will only be owned by the central bank, meaning anytime they issue any part of crypto, the eNaira, which is the CBDC digital currency, uh, it can be housed in the central bank's own wallet, which is called the stock wallet. The second one is the treasury wallet, which will be housed by the likes of private banks. So private banks can only have um, treasury wallet around the eNaira. They can't have stock wallet because when money comes from the central bank, they distribute it across to all the various banks in Nigeria, and these banks do not hold them anywhere other than a treasury wallet. And of course, just to let you know, um, the next one, under the treasury wallet, there's a subcategory, meaning a bank can receive the money from central bank's own wallet, which is a stock wallet, into their own wallet as a bank, which is a treasury wallet, and they can choose to distribute it to regional branches. So instead of the commercial bank, let's say Access Bank received money from central bank, Access Bank will now decide to distribute it to regional banks, let's say in Lagos, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, in Kano, in Enugu, in Anambra, depending wherever, Delta and all that. Okay, in Meduguri, in Sokoto, it doesn't matter. All right. So those branch do not hold treasury wallets because those branch is meant to be under a certain bank branch, in this case, Access Bank. So they receive it under their branch wallet. So as citizens, you can't even have access to a branch wallet. Only regional bank or regional financial institutions can't even have that. In this case, um, under the bank. Now, the third type of wallet, remember, is the merchant speed wallet. So the merchant speed wallet also can be housed by some certain kind of players that are not necessarily bank and they're not necessarily direct consumers. Merchants could be, let's say, for the likes of, say, um, flute away, right? They're not necessarily banks and they're not necessarily direct individual. For example, maybe some of these people who have other product or services that has to do with collecting money from the public and also storing or saving, like the likes of piggy desk. Maybe this is a public free commercial right now. All right, so merchants wallet. If you take note, the first time they mention any word speed wallet was when they get to the merchant, because these are like the people who are almost like a direct customer right now and direct consumers right now. So in the first two wallets, which is the stock wallet by the central bank and treasury wallet by the bank, there is no mention of the word speed wallet according to the document in the website. And the final wallet, which is the fourth one, is known as the speed wallet. You and I, an individual, can have it. Just go to your Google Play Store in your Android phone or your Apple Store in your iPhone, and you'll have access to it. You download it, do all the KYCs by providing your name, your address, your phone number, and all those basic things. If you've done your NIN, your BVN, your TIN, if you're an entity, and if you are an entity as in terms of corporate registered company or something like that, you provide that. So technically, this is the flow. I just did a very quick one. Central bank have a wallet known as the stock wallet. The banks will have their own wallet known as the treasury wallet. A branch under the bank or regional banks under these banks can have what they call their branch wallets. And you, that is not necessarily an individual, but you are still dealing with financial transactions, whether you want to do some sort of bureau de change kind of thing, or whether you're receiving money from the public and you're not necessarily, holding them. Imagine DSTV collecting and holding on to this money. They are not necessarily individual, they can have what they call merchant wallet, which is known as the merchant speed wallet. And you and I can have what they call the eNaira speed wallet itself. All right, that's what it is. Take note, I didn't get this information from anywhere. I got this information directly from the direct regulatory guideline under the CBN's own website. So that's where I had covered all my piece of information. You could all see it when you go to the glossaries and all those various things in terms of wallets, speed wallet, security, privacy, structured, and all what have you. That's where I've gotten all this information. And finally, to enable me talk the last part. How is eNaira transaction structured? Of course, it's structured in four ways: the consumer transactions, the financial institution transactions, the MDA's transactions. These are like the various ways to which these transactions have been structured, um, and they are clearly available if you go through them. You could see them here: consumer transactions, merchant transactions, financial institutions transactions, and of course, the final one, which is the MDA transactions. These are like the four ways to which transactions. So either one way or the other, you fall in one of the category as an entity, citizens, or person of interest within the space of the Naira. And to this effect, I would also leave us with a bit of that last part of the video. But in summary, some of the things we uncovered around the entire process is that central bank, eNaira is cryptocurrencies, and I explained that already. The greatest benefactors, in case you don't know, it's the government and the people, in this case, a citizen who will, of course, get it cheap. The least benefactors, I'm telling you for a fact right now, the banks should be the least benefactors so long as this current structure is maintained, unless in future if they choose to change it. And finally, um, who likely become obsolete again, the people who are within the minting and printing departments of central banks, the people who are within the strong room, storage room, anything that has to do with physical cash services, providing polymer materials or the materials for printing money. You might no longer become useful if they continue to mint on the blockchain of the central bank that issue out this eNaira, most likely you become obsolete because there will not be need for your service going forward, so long as the momentum is sustained. Remember, on the 25th of October, we said 500 million have been minted. It means in the next 5 years, probably we should be minting over a trillion naira. And I wonder what your duties will be at that time. All right. So, why did CBN choose to launch eNaira? I think they should go back and fix that part. It's so annoying for me to see a beautiful country, a beautiful innovation like the eNaira being launched in that way. It's the most manual form I've ever seen. We're moving to digital age. Please make it as much as it is. And with that, these are some of the hidden interpretations of the eNaira. I might do a much more broader one, but at least this covers it. And in case you didn't know, you can choose to watch this remaining parts of the entire um, video. The video is there for you. And on this note, I will be signing out of my entire conversation. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Remember to subscribe on our channel. Remember to like and